You've been away and you come home. The people who are there say, oh, this is broken and that's broken. You got to fix this. You got to pay for that. Well, my mother would last for about 6 hours with this. And she would say, I have to leave. I can't take it.
I think that the guilt toward the four of us children wasn't so much that she was an actress and she was working, but it was how could she could have avoided fighting with Peter, Pia's father, my father, and how this fight became incredibly violent.
My mother and Roberto Rossellini had made 5 films together. None had been financially successful. After 7 years and the birth of 3 children, their marriage had come to an end, when Roberto fell in love with another woman, and she had his child.
She wondered if there was anything that she could have done differently to keep appease the rage of the fathers.
In Paris, my mother's agent, Kay Brown, introduced her to a fellow Swede, Lars Schmidt, a theatrical producer. He was to be her 3rd husband. Another divorce and another custody fight ended with my mother's younger children remaining in Italy with Roberto's family. My mother settled in France with her new husband. Once again, she lived in a different country than her children. I never heard my mother say that she thought her years in Italy were tragic in any way. I don't think she thought that. It certainly might seem that way if people were just looking at her career and saying, well, what happened to the career? Well, her American career ended. But you know, when she was in Italy, she was making movies there with Roberto. They were working, and I think her life was exciting. I think she thought it was exciting, and I'd never heard her say she thought it was anything but. It was a wonderful time for my mother, a new marriage and a renewed career, frequently acting in plays and television dramas produced by Lars. There would be profound changes in the years ahead, but her need to act, that would never change. My mother loved all the men that she'd been married to. Always. She didn't have enemies. She didn't have relationships with a man and then not like him later and say, oh, it was all a mistake. I don't think she thought any of her marriages were a mistake. After 12 years together, Lars Schmidt and my mother were divorced as a result of a relationship he had with another woman. But Mama remained friends with Lars until her death, much as she had remained friends with Roberto until his death. She knew how to forgive, and I admired her for it.
If I would go to